Welcome, I'm Blasty. Today we're looking at Brewmaster Monk. The goal moving forward has shifted a bit. I remember what it was like to be new to the game and how inspiring everything was. And I wondered if there was a way to capture that while also explaining in a very simple way what a spec does, how it's changed, and how to play it. This, hopefully, is that video. Enjoy. Let's first talk about the foundational abilities, and this is what makes Brewmaster unique. Stagger is the lifeblood of Brewmaster, effectively converting some of the physical damage and a smaller amount of magic damage into a dot that affects you over 10 seconds. This does not negate any of the damage. Instead, it allows you to manipulate this dot with other abilities. This makes damage intake smooth and predictable. Shuffle is Brewmaster's newest feature, which increases the effectiveness of your stagger by 100%. Shuffle is granted by attacking enemies with your Keg Smash, Blackout Kick, and Spinning Crane Kick. This will be up 100% of the time by simply doing your normal rotation, so you don't have to think about it. One of the main ways to manipulate this dot is through Purifying Brew, which will clear half of the dot, and it has 2 charges. From now on, I'll refer to the dot as Stagger. Celestial Brew is the newest brew for Brewmaster. It's a straightforward absorb shield which can be made up to 200% stronger depending on how much stagger damage you clear with Purifying Brew. The damage from Stagger affects the shield from Celestial Brew before your health and also blocks enemy attacks. Now that we've talked about what the foundation of Brewmaster is, let's talk about some of its core abilities. Tiger Palm. Deal some physical damage and spend energy. As a general rule, never overcap your resources, and this ability is your filler, so you're sure not to do that. This also reduces the remaining cooldown of your brews by 1 second. Spinning Crane Kick is similar to Tiger Palm with a few key differences. It doesn't reduce the cooldown of your brews, and it's channeled, which means you don't auto attack during the channel, making it only worth using during AoE. Blackout Kick deals physical damage on a short cooldown and grants Shuffle for 3 seconds. Keg Smash deals a large amount of damage to all enemies within 8 yards, the damage being reduced by any targets beyond 5. It grants Shuffle for 5 seconds and lowers the remaining cooldown of your brews for 3 seconds. A great threat generating ability, especially in AoE, but also very important in single target. Breath of Fire breathes fire on targets in front of you. If the target is affected by Keg Smash, it will burn them over time and cause them to deal 5% less damage to you for 12 seconds. Finally, Expel Harm is the same as it has been for Brewmaster. However, at rank 2, you will draw in the chi of all your spheres, increasing the healing done. Now on to major cooldowns. Evoke Nizao, the Black Ox. Used to be a talent, but it's now part of Brewmaster's core kit. Nizao will attack your main target and stomp for AoE damage for 25 seconds. Additionally, Nizao will take 25% of your stagger while active. At level 58, you unlock rank 2 of this ability, which empowers Nizao's next stomp by 25% of the damage you purified. Brewmasters haven't had Touch of Death since Warlords of Draenor. It has been a mainstay in the Windwalker kit for a while now, and it sees a small rework as well. It's now more in line with a standard execute, allowing you to use it when the enemy has less health than you, or if the target is less than 15% health, whichever comes first. At level 52 for Brewmaster, it will reduce stagger damage based on 200% of the damage dealt. Fortifying Brew is your big defensive. It increases your current and maximum health by 20%, reduces all damage by 20%, and increases the effectiveness of your stagger by 10%. Its cooldown is also lowered by Tiger Palm and Keg Smash, so don't be afraid of that big 6-minute cooldown. Zen Meditation is quite an interesting ability. It reduces all the damage you take by 60% until it's cancelled either by getting hit or taking another action. At rank 2, level 56, the effect will no longer be cancelled by moving. This ability is meant to be timed, essentially right after a melee attack, but right before a big damaging ability. Mystic Touch. Baseline to Monk, Mystic Touch is incredibly important, and it makes at least one spot for Monk a guarantee in Raid. This increases the target's physical damage taken by 5%. Mastery, Elusive Brawler, gain an increased chance to dodge each time you take a melee hit, resetting once you successfully dodge. This chance increases with your Mastery and also gives you some attack power as a bonus. Brewmaster's Balance, a straightforward boost to your armor by 25%. Celestial Fortitude, you have a chance equal to your critical strike to be healed for an additional 65% of the amount healed. Brewmaster is designed to require more external healing than other tanks, and this passive makes healing a Brewmaster even easier. Gift of the Ox, when you take damage, you have a chance to spawn an orb that will heal you when you move over it. Additionally, your Expel Harm will pull any orbs to you, increasing the healing, and at rank 2, your Spinning Crane Kick will pull orbs into you for free healing during your AoE rotation. And finally, as kind of a hidden passive, Brewmasters can now dual wield once again, allowing for more control over a number of things. For instance, you can now have 2 weapon enchants if you choose to dual wield. Now onto some utility abilities. Detox is now baseline for all Monk specs. It clears poison or disease, but it costs 20 energy. Clash is making its return at level 54. You and the target charge each other, meeting halfway, then rooting all targets within 6 yards for 4 seconds. Leg Sweep, an AoE stun within 6 yards that lasts for 3 seconds. Paralysis incapacitates the target for 1 minute. Damage will cancel the effect. Resuscitate restores a dead ally to life with 35% of max health and mana, cannot be cast in combat. And Vivify will heal the target for a small amount. On to movement, we have Roll. Roll a short distance, you gain a second charge at level 9, and Transcendence. Leave your spirit behind for 15 minutes. Use Transcendence Transfer to swap locations with your spirit. And finally, to wrap up the ability section, let's talk about some other abilities. Spear Hand Strike is your interrupt. Provoke is your taunt. At level 39, you unlock rank 2, causing enemies taunted to move towards you at 50% increased speed. Crackling Jade Lightning, a channeled ability that should only really be used to pull out of reach mobs. Zen Flight, just a fun little ability you can use to slow fall or even fish. And last but not least, Zen Pilgrimage. This will transport you to the Monk class hall. From there, you can easily access the Dalaran portal and then to your capital to the portal network. Now on to the talents. Currently our best setup is the same, whether you're raiding or running dungeons. However, it's always good to be aware of the talents and the rows. That way you can change them depending on the situation, and that's part of what makes a good tank. Row 15, Tiger's Eye is your main pick for most situations. However, it's only viable when you're using Tiger Palm. So if you're mainly using Spinning Crane Kick for AoE, it's a wasted passive. In any situation where you can't benefit from Eye of the Tiger, go with Chi Burst. The main drawback is that you can't dodge or parry when casting it, so keep that in mind. On row 25, the choice is between Chi Torpedo and Tiger's Lust. Tiger's Lust is the winner here if you're willing to have an extra keybind. It allows an option for personal and ally movement, as well as removing roots and snares. If that doesn't sound good to you, or you need the extra distance from Chi Torpedo, go with that. Row 30, your choice is Light Brewing. That's the safest pick. You will consistently benefit from it and there's nothing to lose, whereas Black Ox Brew is technically better without any human error. It's only better when used perfectly in every single scenario, which isn't realistic. Row 35, Ring of Peace is the most useful in the widest range of content. However, you can take Black Ox Statue in situations where you need to pick up ads or need an AoE taunt. Outside of those situations, Ring of Peace is the best choice. Row 40, simply take Bob and Weave in all situations other than solo content. Bob and Weave effectively smooths out your damage even more. This will help healers keep up with the damage intake. Healing Elixir can be used in solo content as a reliable heal. On row 45, Rushing Jade Wind is an easy choice for every situation. It pulls ahead of the other two in all ways. It fills out the rotation, and it does the best damage in AoE and single target. Row 50, again an easy choice. High Tolerance is great survivability, a DPS boost, and it outclasses the other talents in the row. Let's get into rotation so we can figure out how to put these all together. For single target, Touch of Death whenever it's available. Invoke Nizal on cooldown. Use Cake Smash as soon as it's available. Make sure to have at least 40 energy ready when Cake Smash comes off cooldown. This translates to survivability because it reduces the cooldown of your brews, so it's vital that you maximize it. Blackout Kick. Breath of Fire, Rushing Jade Wind, keep this up at all times if you can. Tiger Palm to spend energy and avoid capping. You'll be using this consistently as a filler, which is good as long as you don't drain your resources to the point where you can't use Cake Smash when it's available. And Expel Harm when you need a little extra healing. As for AoE, everything remains mostly the same except Breath of Fire, which takes priority over Blackout Kick, and you replace Tiger Palm with Spinning Crane Kick. For defensives, Purifying Brew should simply be fit into the rotation in a way that ensures you never sit on 2 stacks. It's a good idea to have an extra stack in reserve for those high stagger moments. Celestial Brew should also not be left unused because you can't benefit from lowering its cooldown if it's not on cooldown. You should only hold this ability if you're absolutely sure there's big damage coming in the next few seconds. Fortifying Brew should be saved for big damage situations, and Zen Meditation should be used for big damage, being sure to time it correctly so it's not cancelled by an auto attack. As for Azerite and Essences, for your Azerite, look for 3 Heart of Darkness, 1 Elusive Footwork, 1 Training of Nizal, and 1 Boiling Brew. For Essences, your major essence, you want Crucible of Flame. And for minor, you want Conflict and Strife, Nullification Dynamo, Formless Void for raiding, and Aegis of the Deep for Mythic Plus. There it is, the Brewmaster Monk. I really love this spec, and if somehow I'm coerced into tanking for Shadowlands, this would probably be my top pick. It's really great on progression, it's an amazing class, I've always loved the aesthetic of the monk class, and on top of that, it just fits my playstyle. There's really a ton to do. Almost in the state of the class right now, there's a bit too much to do. There's too much on the GCD, but hopefully they will work that out before Shadowlands. Finally, I suspect by the time you're watching this video, we hit 500 subs, which is crazy. I can't tell you what that means to me, and so many of you are legitimately supporting something that I've been oddly afraid of committing myself to for a very long time. If we keep going like this, we'll soon hit 1,000, which is crazy to me. I'd like to do something special when we hit 1,000 and start streaming again on Twitch. My Twitch has been super quiet lately because I've been focusing mostly on YouTube right now. I've also had some people suggest to start a Patreon, which I've been very reluctant to do. However, YouTube is my passion. Teaching World of Warcraft and sharing what I love with all of you is a dream, and making YouTube full-time would mean videos would get even better. If enough people are interested in the Patreon, I'd consider it when we hit 1,000, and just let me know if that is something that you'd like to see me do, or it's something that you would like to support. Again, thank you all so damn much. Our next video will be of my choosing, and I can promise you it will be a popular DPS spec. As a hint, what do you think it will be? Until next time, I'm Blasty. See ya!